love the Oni trilogy as much as the next guy, but Mr. E sucks. Yeah, I'm just gonna jump right into this. This is gonna be a pretty short video anyway, so I might as well get right to the point. We never learned anything about Mr. E. We find out he's a robot, and then they never do anything with that. We never find out who made him, or where he came from, or why he joined the Sons of Garmadon, or anything about him. And then he dies in Hunted. He was a complete waste of a character, and he 100% should have been Echo Zane like originally intended. When the ninja are at the lighthouse and crystallized, Echo Zane just isn't there for some reason, and then Mr. E shows up later in the season. That made me think they were going to revisit the idea of him being Echo Zane, but nope! They didn't do that. Echo Zane just wasn't at the lighthouse for no reason, and instead of Mr. E, it's Mr. F, who is just as useless as his original model. Mr. F does almost nothing in Crystallized. You could remove him and literally nothing would change. Also just brings up more questions that will never be answered. Like, Pythor says Mr. F is the new model. So, who is making these robots? Do you just buy them from fucking Walmart? Also, Mr. F is literally the exact same as Mr. E, but with a different color. So these models are practically identical. Anyway, back to Echo Zane. The reason him being Echo Zane was cut was because it would have been too much of a hassle to explain the events of Skybound, but that's really not a good excuse. Jay and Nia remember Skybound. All it would take is for one of them to explain to the other ninja what happened. It's really not that hard.
Hey guys, just thought I'd let you know that one time Klaus released an evil genie that tricked all of us into committing suicide, and he wanted to marry Nia because she looked like his dead wife. But Nia died. But don't worry, I stopped him by complete accident, and none of you remember any of this. Oh yeah, and Lloyd, you were old.
Is now a bad time to tell you guys I'm gay? Anyway, Mr. E 100% should have been Echo Zane, and he was written to be, which is why when they didn't reveal him being Echo Zane, it was a complete waste of a character. He is all build-up and no payoff. Also, Echo Zane turning evil would kinda make sense. He's been alone in that lighthouse for years. I could understand going a bit crazy. Also, dick move on Jay and Nia's part that they never decided to go and get him. Echo Zane wouldn't even have to necessarily be evil. You could just have it that Harumi found him somehow, and now he's loyal to her for saving him from the lighthouse. Or you could do the exact opposite and have him be bitter and spiteful about being alone in the lighthouse for so long and have him be a complete dickhead. You really can do a lot with him. Without the reveal of him being Echo Zane, he is completely useless. You could remove him and lose almost nothing. You could argue that removing him would remove the impact of his death in Hunted, and how it shows how serious Garmadon is, but Garmadon kills Mistake in the same season, so I don't know if that argument really holds water. Although, we would lose Garmadon killing somebody that's on his side, so you could definitely make an argument there. But either way, I feel nothing during his death because he's a robot with absolutely zero emotions. Zane is a robot, but Zane is an actual character. Mr. E isn't. Also, if a character's biggest impact on the plot is them dying, then that's just sad. You could argue Mr. E was a red herring, but he wasn't supposed to be a red herring though. Mr. E was going to be Echo Zane. It's something that was written all over him, and the fact that he isn't makes him completely useless. And even if he is a red herring, it's a pretty bad red herring because it's throwing away something that could have been really interesting, and being a red herring isn't an excuse for being a big bag of nothing. Actually, I mean, I guess it kind of is, because that's kind of what a red herring is, but whatever, you get what I mean. There are so many questions about him we will never get answers to, and it all would have been fixed instantly if we had gotten the reveal that he was Echo Zane. In order to fix Mr. E in the Oni trilogy, it would be relatively simple. You would really just need a few tweaks to the script. Mr. E as a character is awful because he's not a character, he's a plot device.